can hardly see it with the camera angle like that. There we go. We'll go ahead and feed the cat and we'll be ready. All right, here we go. I think this will be Talavera, 28th of July, 1809. This is from the Commands and Colors Spanish expansion. None of these scenarios of which, in all the years I've played this, none of these scenarios of which have I played. This will be the first one for the Spanish. Just never had that much of an interest. And I thought, well, having not played any of them, maybe we'll try one of them. So, bless me. All right, the setup is as such. This elaborate setup you see here is just for your viewing pleasure. So that is Talavera. The only in-game stuff that counts for this city is this hex, and this hex are basically considered town/village hexes. Otherwise, anything below this baseline, again, just for aesthetic enhancement, your added viewing pleasure, you're welcome. I've also recessed the stream. Usually I place these stream hexes on top, and I thought it just it looks better if you remove the hexes and just place these flat guys straight on the table. And I don't know. I feel like it looks better. So there's that. As far as the troops, we have primarily Spanish, although there are a British here. So British, 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 and British. The rest are genuine Spanish troops. We will be using, and this goes without saying, though I'll say it, the Shake and Break Napoleonic amended rules for commands and colors. And victory banner is 6 victory banners. The Spanish army receives 5 command cards, which translates to 5 command points for our commander-in-chief to distribute as he sees fits for command rolls, combat, rally, and morale checks for the French. And that is all the commander-in-chief really does. For the French, they have 5 command points to do likewise. That's pretty much it. We'll hop right in and set it off. So 1, 2, other than that, 1, 2, 3 French commanders and command debacle for the Spanish army with only 2 commanders. British all the way on the extreme left, and then to the right of center, a Spanish commander. So we're really going to have to juggle command for the Spanish army. Drawing our chits. Actually, let's not do that yet. Let's roll our command checks. 7 or less here. Failed it. Also, I should add the for this scenario, the Spanish do have, what do they call it in particular? The Spanish guerrilla action rule. What does that mean? That means command can be interrupted at any point by the Spanish. Now, there's a way that the base game does it, but the way that I will represent that in this amended rules variation is when we roll command checks, you want the lower the better, right? Well, if you roll perfectly, that is to say a 2 or snake eyes, that command check fails because that will represent the Spanish guerrilla action being put into effect. So there's that. Help me remember. Thank you. 8 or less on this commander. Wow, a horrible start for the French here with 2 commanders failing their checks right out of the gate here. And then hopefully this guy does it. Now you could say, well, why don't you use your, well, I don't know. I don't know why I don't use my command points. 6, 7, 8, 9. Luckily, he's a 9 strength leader because otherwise he would have failed. So, having just boasted about our command comfort zone here for the French, we have 2 of the 3 fail. Let's head to the Spanish army. We've got a 7 ranked leader here. No problem for him, go figure. And for our British, what am I stepping on? A mouse, cat toy. We have 9 or less on this British guy here. 6, 7, 8, 9. Just made it, so that's fairly odd. The Spanish armies passed all their command stuff. The French had issues. Interesting. All right, now we draw shits. French go first, and it'll be French leader number 4 who has failed his command check. So that means we'll need to roll for everybody here individually. We'll start with these guys. And they failed as well. Give me this. So they can't do anything. We'll roll for these guys. Wow, they failed too. This is unprecedented in our viewing history. What about these guys? No, couldn't do it either. I'm telling you, this is really weird. This never happens. It's the first time for me. Ooh, we have a lucky winner here. What about this artillery? Over him. Let me mark him. So I'll try it again. 345. He is also in command. For those of you watching, it may seem tedious, but it's all good. 3-4. He's in command. 2, 1. Artillery here. I wouldn't have to do this if the leader had passed his command check, so there's that. So now we go to individual units. And finally, right here, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, so there's a few units that passed. 1, 2, 5 of them. And a significant portion that failed. For the foot artillery here, I'm going to move up, so that'll be the end of them. And then the line infantry here will move up. The only reason I have formations represented in this now, and I talked about this the last video, is to let me know who moved and who didn't. I used to use arrows for that. No, I don't. So they moved up 1. I have nothing in range. These guys will do likewise, move up 1. Nothing else to do there. And anything else? Yes, this artillery, which can't do well if we move these guys. That still doesn't benefit our artillery at all. So they're just kind of going to have to take a pass. That is our opening French move. A hell of a thing there. That was terrible. Who's next? French again. Leader number 3, that means left flank. And he also failed his command check. Let's roll for the light cavalry. 6, 7, 8, he failed. I don't know what it is with the French today. The unit that the leader is stacked with failed. For those of you that are paying attention, that was different yesterday. I thought about it. When I did allow, after second thought, an individual unit that is stacked with the leader who fails his command check to go ahead and try and roll their own individual command check. This unit here passed. This is heavy cavalry that'll be doing something 1, 2, and then horse artillery here failed. So I don't know what the deal is with the French, if they're half asleep or what. All that got us was 1 heavy cavalry unit moving up 2. The road has no bearing on the game, again, just for looks. And the stream, the only effect that it has is once you move onto the stream, you have to stop. No battle effects or anything like that. Who's next? Take these off. Down there. Don't know who is next. French again. So the French ran the table here. This is leader number 5 who was in command on the right flank, which means everybody from here out is in command. If I represent it like this, you can easily see who I'm talking about. So everybody to this side is in command. Artillery could possibly fire. I'm going to go ahead and move them up 1 more. And be down there. Won't be able to fire after having moved. 1 move here. Be down there. The attached leader will move with. Foot artillery here, 1 and done. Heavy cavalry. I'm going to wait on them because I want to move. Or will I? No, let's move them up. And they'll be done. Everybody moves. French line unit's going to move up 1 here, which will allow the unit behind him to take their place. Took a photo of this and posted it up to Board Game Geek under the Spanish Commands and Colors Napoleonics entry, game entry. I typically do that every once in a while. My hope is to flood all the expansions with pictures of setups. That's done. All right, the rest will be Spanish Army. But who in particular? So, number 4, that is over here. And if you remember, they are in command. So there should be no issues for them. Bridge is not used. That's just for looks as well. So 1, 2, the artillery. It's grenadiers. Okay, so here's what we'll do. Actually, we're going to keep them here. No, what are we going to? Let's move. I take that back. Let's move into the makeshift graveyard I've got here. So we'll put these guys here, which really functions as a town hex. But since I'm using the actual scale town stuff, I can't fit everything in that hex. So he's done. This guy will, in fact, move up 1. If the French get near, we can always pull back. Let's go ahead and move him up 1. We'll pull off on that. That was what else? These 2 guys here. We'll put him. Actually, let's put him right here. We'll check on that to make sure that the Spanish Grenadiers only move 1, and then this light infantry is going to head into the woods. And that'll be done. So nothing to fire at here. Let me verify I did everything correctly. And then we'll head to our Spanish left. So if I look at my sheet here, movement, Grenadiers, 1, yeah, just 1, and then light. Could have moved up another hex and had range, but I like hanging out in the woods for now. Finally, the British left over here. Let's move out of the stream. Let's do it this way again. 1, 2. All we have is this. As far as so 1, 2, 3, 4 units within command range. We'll move them up and have to stop in the stream. Move them out of the stream. They will be able to conduct moving range fire. As well, these guys will do standing range fire, move the leader up here, and move the, whatever this is, British line here up. Stop at stream. So that means these 2 get a shot. Let's fire British line. Moving range fire, full strength is 6 or less. I don't know what's better, firing at the artillery or the infantry. Let's do 6 or less. Firing at the infantry in the woods makes it 5 or less. And they rolled it with a 3 on the red die. 3 on the red die means we drop a stand and went from 4 to a 3. So that was good work. And then artillery will do the same. Firing at the same unit, that is standing range fire. British foot artillery, 1, 2, 3 hex range, 6 or less, but then we get the woods again, which does affect artillery fire, and that becomes a 5 or less. And they did not get to hit that time. So that is the end of the opening round. Something fell again. Everything's falling. Okay. Housekeeping, pull the command markers off. And reroll command. Nobody used Commander-in-Chief command points, so we don't need to reset those. Had that happened, we would reset those. That brings us to our command rolls. Again, for the French. Now this time, I am going to siphon off 2 command points from our Commander-in-Chief, dropping him to a 3. So now, with this 7 or less, if we just roll, well, we got it anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I wanted to be sure he was in command, so there's that. Movement of commanders in chief will take place non-chit draw at the beginning of the turn. I'm happy with where everybody's at for now. This guy's out of range of commander in chief, so he cannot benefit from the siphoning off points. 8 or less on that guy, and he's in command as well. So a much better complexion for the French this turn. Command-wise, we'll put the chits back in the cup and do our command rules for the Spanish. Spanish. 7 or less. Oh, just rolled a 7. Nailed it. And finally, for our British commander, who is a little bit better, a lot of bit better, 9 or less, 6, 7, 8. Everybody's in command. We will not need to conduct individual unit command checks. All right, who goes first? That's a good question. French again with the initiative. That's our right flank there. 2, 2. It is just going to be these guys. Heavy cavalry's not going to do anything yet. Foot artillery's kind of stuck unless I will. So I'm going to move these guys up. They'll be able to conduct moving range fire. They stay. This guy done. He'll fire, and he can't do anything. Actually, that's wrong. These guys can fire, so it goes like this. So there we go. Let's go ahead and fire now. That is actually standing range fire because they didn't move. That is French line infantry, 8 or less. Surely we can get that. We rolled an 8. 2 on the red die, good stuff. Good enough. Which pushes him back 1 hex back into the stream. So good job there. He's done, and then we have these 2 guys here. Let's see what the artillery can do. 1, 2, 3 hex range, foot artillery, 6 or less. We rolled a 7, so we got nothing. And finally, moving ranged fire from a French line unit, 6 or less. Well, we rolled a 9, so all we were able to do was push 1 unit back, draw another chit. Spanish leader number 3, that's British left flank. Doing this, let's see, 1, 2, 1. So this time it'll be this way. All these units, 2, 3, 4, 5 units now in command. Range. Not going to move, but we'll fire. These guys will move back out of the stream yet again, back and forth, and fire moving range fire, so I will keep them in column formation. These guys did not move. That's why I switched into line to help me remember, keep track of what's going on. These guys will move up 1, and that'll be it for them. We've got to fit everything in here with the fat, lard butt leader taking up the whole hex here. That's done. All right, and then our artillery is obviously going to stay in place. So we got 4 British units that are going to fire. Well, it's actually 1 Spanish unit. We'll start with the Spanish artillery here, which is probably slightly less effective than the British, I would imagine. Let's just test that. 1, 2, 3 hex range, 6 or less, drops to 5 or less for the woods. Roll a 5, red die on the 2. Would push him back, but he can't retreat because he has troops in his way, so he drops a stand down to half strength now. And then the British artillery will fire at the same unit. 2x, the 3x range as well. That is 6 or less too. 4, 5, 6. With a 2 on the red dice, essentially the same result. He would retreat, but he can't. So there's another stand. Now he's down to 1 strength point. We'll fire with the British line infantry, moving range fire, and see if we can knock out that final stand and eliminate the unit. So line infantry, moving range fire. That is 6 or less, drops to 5 or less for the woods. We rolled a 5 with a 1 on the red die. That unit's gone. There's our first victory banner of the game. Going to the Spanish. Not done yet, though. We have another unit that can fire a non-moving ranged fire. There's a full-strength British line unit doing that. That will, at the beginning of the next turn, drop our overall commander-in-chief point availability by 1. Each casualty does so, but not till the following turn. Doesn't affect it now. 9 or less on this British line infantry. He rolled an 8 with a 6 on the red die. Not the best result, the worst result. So it's basically just a +2 morale check. The cocked die. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9. That leader has a -2 die roll modifier, so drops down to 7, and they're fine. Okay. Draw another chit. Spanish again. This will be the right flank. We got a lot of guys that can do stuff here. A lot of guys. Let me figure all this out. This and this. 1, 2. Let's mark these guys. So from here over, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. It's like this. So that's 3, 7 units that'll be pushing up. Put these guys here. Nothing in range, so they'll be done. These guys up, done. These guys up, finished. And then, how far up do I want to push these guys? We'll push them up. Actually, no, we won't. Yeah, we will. Right here, and right here, and done there. Keep them here. Move our foot artillery up 1 more hex. They'll be finished. And gosh darn it, let's push our grenadiers forward and do something here. Fire at the French heavy cavalry. How about that? See what we can do. That'll be the end of that. Much nicer when your leaders pass their command checks. You don't have to do individual unit command checks. More rapid, more smooth. Is that British or Spanish? That is Spanish. Full strength. Moving range fire. 5. Well, you better be full strength or you're not doing moving range fire otherwise. Interesting. So 5 or less. Add 1 to the die roll because we're firing at cavalry. What do we get? A 9, a 10, and that's nothing. Draw a chit. The remainder of the chits are French. Center leader, this guy here, which allows 1, 2 will be significantly more units this go around than last game. So keeping track of things is a bit more of a challenge. 1, 2, 1. So I'm using my sticks. Looks like it's just going to be movement, except for one unit will be able to fire. So, no, that's not true. Yeah, yes, it is true. With these guys up, they won't have anything in range. One hex at a time. I got it. One hex at a time. Didn't cost me a dime. He can fire, actually. I'm going to need those stinking arrows after all. I just know it. These guys can fire. No, they can't. So he will fire. Let's go ahead and fire him so we can easily keep track of that. Moving range fire, French. Full strength, 6 or less. 4, 5, 6. Got it. 4 on the red die means they're shaken. Mark them accordingly. Okay, down in there. These guys. Moving up 1, yes. Yes. Nothing to fire at. These guys. Light infantry moving up 2. No, that was the woods they went through, so they've got to stop there. Nothing to fire at. Which leaves, we'll move him up here and push these guys forward, which will allow them moving range fire at the British unit there. Again, French moving range fire, 6 or less. Failed that as well. It's the end of the French turn there. Or is it? No, there's one left. So French left. Yep. The left is left. Isn't it always? Not always. 1, 2, 1, 2. Well, here's what's in command. Ready? We've got heavy cavalry, horse artillery, another heavy cavalry, and light cavalry. I can't push the cavalry into combat yet because there's nothing. You have to do that in concert with something firing. And I've got nothing going on yet there. So let's push horse artillery into the wood hex here. They'll be done. And I do use limber rules. So to limber and unlimber is a move. That's to say limbering is a move, unlimbering is a move. Now after you unlimber, you can do moving range fire with foot if you're allowed. And that was it, huh? Is that all I wanted to do? Let's just put these guys up one more hex just out of range so they can hang back, and when they're needed to be called upon, they can do so. And same here. Just one hex. And I'm going to move our leader to a better position, one right here. We'll have many more units under his command after moving there the next turn. That is the end of turn 2. We have 1 casualty, which means the Spanish are in the lead. 6 total victory banners required. Clean house. I was watching the old Blues try to play hockey, but I had enough of that and kind of expected the result that I got. This team is a mere shell of its 2019 self. So many players traded. Pretty much a rebuild phase. All right, command checks. Reset our commander-in-chief points because we did use them. For the French, they have 5 points, but we lose 1 because of our casualty. Drops to 4 points, so we'll set that to 4. For the Spanish, it was, I don't think we used anything yet there on the Spanish, did we? It's still just 5. Okay. All right. I will use 2 points of this 4 points. You have to also declare this in advance before the roll. You can't see the outcome of the roll and then decide whether or not you want to use commander-in-chief points. 7 or less, 6, 7, 8. Good thing I did sell or I would have failed. So yay, Commander-in-Chief. I chose wisely. And then our right, way too far away from Commander-in-Chief, but this guy is a 9 ranked. So 9 or less, roll a 7, who's good? Strategy, guys, strategy. You wouldn't want your Commander-in-Chief over here and have this guy stranded trying to roll 7s. That's how that works. And our 7 ranked Spanish leader, he's fine. Well, somebody's going to be out of command. I bet it's this British leader here. British leader here, 9 or less. 5, 6 in command. So again, everybody in command. Need to add that leader cannot use his own die roll modifier for command checks. Little tiny, little bitty itsy things that I remember to add to these rules to make things a little more clear. Leader, no use die roll modifier. His own for his command check. There we go. Oh, I got that. Kids in the cup. Everybody ready? Will the French go again? They've gone first the last 2 times, and yes, they will. Center leader, leader 4, 8 or less. Did I roll for him? Why is he not marked? You know what? I don't think I did. Yeah, he's in command anyway, so mark him. I think I forgot him. All right. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 units that can go. It's a healthy sum. I am gonna. So we'll do moving range fire here. Let's do that now. French line. What is it, 6 or less? Moving range fire, yes, 6 or less. 6, 7, 8, he failed. They're done. And then we're gonna roll forward. We could do standing range fire, but we're gonna push forward and do melee here. And hopefully get a better result. What do they get? Let's see. Even though they can battle back with melee. Line infantry, melee, full strength versus infantry. I think we got this 9 or less -1. We rolled a 5, so yes, we got that. 4 in the red die. A shaking unit that shakes again is broken, so they won't be battling back, and they need to. Let's say they need to route back. Let me write that down. Okay, so we'll push him back. There is no, there is no broken casualty result. The only way it can break is if you're shaking and you shake again. And they couldn't battle back because they broke. We have foot artillery will move up into the wood. Can't fire though. And then let's go forward here. Moving ranged fire. Right there. 6 or less. Failed that. Move our leader up. 2 more units here. Let's go with this line unit here. And we'll do melee. Get out of here. Let's roll that up. 9 or less -1. Oh, 3-2 on the red die. Pushes them back. They cannot go back. So they'll go from a 4 to a 3. And they will battle back in that case. 3 strength. British line, 3 strength is 8 or less. Nope. 7 or less -1. 6, 7, 8. -1 is 7. 6 on the red die. +2 morale check. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shook them. And then these guys, I guess, moving ranged fire at artillery. That sucks. This is light infantry, moving ranged fire, full strength at artillery, but they're behind. What is this? It's a field works. So -1 there. Moving range fire, full strength. So 5 or less, add 1. We got an 8, so that's done. What else? British 3. 1, 2. Same deal. Everything here over can conduct actions. Let's start here and do Guard Grenadiers. British Guard Grenadiers. Standing range fire, for God's sakes, is 10 or less. 5, 6, 7 with a 2 on the red die. They retreat, but they can't. So they drop to a 3. What else? These guys are stuck. These guys can battle with 3 strength in melee, 7 or less, -1. Got it, but 5 on the red die, +4 morale check. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He is now broken. His feelings are broken. Pulls back. And then that leaves artillery. British foot artillery. 2x range. 7 or less. Add 1. No. 7 or less. 3. 1 on the red die. Bad for the French. That means 2 hits. So French light goes from 4 to a 2. He will retreat into the woods. And he is also shaken. That's that brutal 1 result. Trees everywhere, trees. Shaken. And the Spanish artillery, 2x range with woods now. Seven or less, make that 6 or less. Rolled an 8. Nothing going on there. French 5, that's our right flank. Broken unit. Because our leader is in command and he is within command distance, this broken unit can try and rally. It's going to be 5 or less. He failed, but a failed broken rally attempt turns him into shaken. Next. Nothing to do, nothing to do. Fire with artillery. French foot artillery. 2x range, 7 or less. Nothing. And finally, 3 strength. You know what? Nope. Yep. Gambling here. I'm pushing forward into melee against guard grenadiers there. Let's see what happens. 3 strength against infantry is still 8 or less. He got it with a 6, and guess what? Any guesses on what the red die result is? It's a 1. So he won't be able to battle back. He retreats. Takes 2 hits. And is shaken. I believe he's British Guard Grenadiers are 4 strength or 5 strength. So he's actually down to 3, not 2. That paid off, that little gamble there. Could gain ground, don't know that I want to. That puts me adjacent to 2 enemy units. I don't know how I feel about that. I guess I don't feel good about that. Spanish right flank. What do we got now? A bunch of units out of command. It's awesome. Too well played. I didn't consider moving the leader. He wants to stay there. 1, 2. These 2, he can try and rally. So let's do that. It's going to be 5 or less here. Failed goes to shaken. He doesn't have anything to do. That just leaves these 2 units. Let's conduct ranged fire, standing ranged fire here. Don't forget to move your leader this time when you're done. British standing ranged fire, full strength, 9 or less. 6, 7, 8, 6 on the red die, plus 2 morale check. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so they're shaken. And then that leaves our artillery that is technically, since he had just moved, he would need to unlimber, so that'll be his move. Move him here, and we're done. One shit left, French. 3, 2 goes like this. Again, all that cavalry. Let's unlimber our horse artillery here and do moving ranged fire. That'll be the first thing we do. Got little horse stands I use for horse artillery. So I know, so I can differentiate that from foot artillery. I suppose I could use little feet and put them on stands for foot. This is French foot artillery. I'm sorry, horse artillery. Moving ranged fire. 2 axes is 6 or less. That's still pretty good. Nope, that's guard. That's just horse artillery. So guard artillery could do it. Let's see, horse artillery. Yeah, still 6 or less. Okay. We still got it. 6 or less. Just double checking here. Yeah, 6 or less. Okay. 4 or 5. My favorite result, 1 on the red die. That means the Spanish artillery goes from 3 to a 1. They pull back. No, that's not artillery that fired. It's the grenadiers. Get it right. Spanish grenadiers go from 4 to a 2 and pull back. And they're shaking. That's what happened. And then we have, is that it? Okay, that's the end of that turn. Let's do a time check here. Just under an hour. We'll go another turn at least. There's quite a few shaken troops for the French here. Could probably use cavalry now on the left since we've got artillery to support. Breathe. Where you at? There you are. Okay. Command rolls. Let's reset. Available command points. This will go to 4. Back to 4. Have I not been using these at all for the Spanish? I really haven't. Okay. Using it again. Dropping 4 to a 2. 7 or less. -2. 9. It was a good thing I used it. 9 becomes a 7, so he's in command. Otherwise, he wouldn't be. So, again, using our commander-in-chief pays off. That brings us to leader on the right. Can't read that. 9 or less. 4, 5 in command. Good to go for the French. Or the Spanish. No, I forgot the guy in the middle. Again. 8 or less. 6 in command. Okay. Everybody's happy. Everybody's good. Leader, die roll modifiers. One more note. These rules are pretty much set. Only thing that I'm noticing is textual reminders for those that are learning these. Seven or less. Wow, 1 to 10. Bad for him. And 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go ahead and use 2 of these guys here. I got a bad feeling, so we'll drop him from a 5 to a 3. Even though he's a 9, I just got a bad feeling. 9 or less, -2. Yeah, he has it. He would have had it anyway, but I just had a weird feeling. I didn't want both these guys out of command. Okay. Chip draw. Spanish go first. Rare opportunity for them to do something, anything. Roll command checks apparently because this guy failed all his stuff. So, who wants to do things? 1, 2, from here out we can. And from here in, 1, 2, 1, 2, right there like that. Okay. What will he do? He will remove shaken, but I gotta check a rule because I've been wavering back and forth on this rule. What have I settled on of late? Shaken. You know, so shaking unit that is required to take a morale check doesn't shaking. Let's see. Nope, he can't do it. Since that leader's out of command, he's stuck being shaken. That's what I've decided on. Rule-wise, that moves us over here. He can't do anything because he's in the way, so that moves us. Let's go this way. We'll fire with him. British line. Full strength. Nope, not Spanish. Full strength. 8 or less. Roll a 5, 3 on the red die. 3 on the red die, remove 1 stand. And he'll go from a 4 to a 3. Okay, he's done. I didn't roll command for him, did I? Naughty, naughty. Pay attention. We'll see what would have happened. Yep, he was in command anyway. Now we'll roll for foot artillery command. Failed. Next. These guys are shaken, so they're done. Light infantry in the wood. I really don't know what to do with them. They're in command, and these guys are also in command. I'll move them up 1 more. And I'm keeping them there. So that's that. Okay. Bunch of nonsense on the Spanish right. Nonsense. French 5, that's our right. Let's do, see if we can punch a hole through the extreme right. How do we do that? Well, we're going to fire standing ranged fire, which is 8 or less. Let's see what we get. We rolled nothing. 8 and 8 or less got nothing. That's awesome. Good work. For artillery, you know what? We've got a lane, as it were, of fire here. Let's use it. Lane of fire. French foot. 1, 2, 3 hex range, 6 or less. Rolled a 6, 3 on the red die, and shaved off on a stand. So 3 to 2. And then these guys. Actually, I'm not going to do that yet. More French foot, same target, 2x range, 7 or less. Got a 4 with a 3 on the red die. Another stand shaved off. Now he's down to 1 strength point. And what else did we have? That's it, huh? I'm going to pull this commander off of this unit and place him here so I can bring more in command. That's the end of the French right push. 3 chits left. Oop, French again. Center of action. Let's mark that there. And this guy here, right there. Okay. Lots of shaking units are going to become unshaken because they're within command range of an in-command leader. So, boom, boom, back. He's back. If he can't do anything, that leaves 2 units here. He will move up 1. This guy and this guy. And do melee against artillery. Okay. Full strength, line. 8 or less. Add 1. You got a 2, add 1 is a 3. Definitely got it. Roll a 1, best result you can get. 3 strength artillery drops to 1 strength. He pushes back. Retreats 1 hits. And he's shaken. I could take ground if I wanted to, but I don't want to. That leaves French. Let's put them in line because they didn't move. So they will fire full strength. Putting them in line is just a visual aid to help me know they didn't move. They will fire straight ahead. It's going to be 8 or less. Snake Eyes again, which is awesome. Pushes him back, knocks 2 off of his strength, and shakes him. So awesome firing by the French there. How many chits left? 2 chits left. 2 chits left, and we'll end this session. It's going to be 3 here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. So again, it's going to look like this. Back stiffen enough. Okay. Focus factor. I am not moving these guys who are down to 1 strength into the foray. They will hang back gladly. Happily, they will fire. They'll fire. They can fire. These guys. What about these guys? Let's remove shaking here, so they'll be done. That leaves these core units here, right? Let's fire with them first and get that out of the way. 1 strength British line is 6 or less. Roll a 4, 3 on the red die, remove a stand. So he'll go from 3 to a 2. And then these 3 here, what do I want to move him up? I think I do. Commander as well? No, Commander's going to hang back. Though I probably should. Melee here. Let's get rid of this. So that is British line, melee, 8 or less. 6, 7, 1 on the red die. Returns the favor because these guys, remember, push the other dudes back. Drops him to a 1. Shaken. Gain ground doesn't want to. That leaves 2 artillery units here. Let's fire a British first foot. Ow. 1, 2 hexes. Six or less, but then you get the wood, so it's 5 or less. Yeah, missed it, rolled an 8. And then finally, Spanish artillery 1, 2, 3 hex range plus woods. Spanish artillery 3 hex range, 6 or less plus woods 5 or less. Rolled a 6, so just missed it. One shit left is French. Final action of the game, of this viewing rather. This guy here, what do we have? 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. All these units are within command now. We'll fire again with horse artillery, standing range fire. Remember, if you roll a 12 on this artillery stuff, you run low on ammo. Foot artillery, 1, 2, 3 or less. Let's see, 3 is 6 or less. Can we do that? No. Yep. 5. 4 on the red die. Shaken. Shaken becomes broken. It's already shaken, so that's that. And then a fun thing could happen. I can really use the cavalry now against that poor broken unit and just embarrass them. We'll come to that in a second. 1, 2, push him up 1. Push these guys up 2. And fire, moving ranged fire. French light infantry, moving range fire, full strength, 7 or less. Rolled a 9, so nothing good there happening. Light cavalry, let's move them up 1 here. Heavy cavalry, 1 here. And I will move these guys up 1, 2. And I don't even need to roll anything because that unit's broken. And it'll just push them back. Writing something down. Okay. So let's push them back. Again, because this unit is broken, you don't even need to roll anything. You're just going to automatically retreat them. They're not going to hang around for anything being in a broken state. So there. Okay. That's the end of it for now. Well, housekeeping. And we'll do a recap. Reset our points, which is 4. Which has really helped out the French, the commander-in-chief points. Spanish haven't used theirs quite to the effect that the French have. Probably should make better use of that. Command rolls have kind of gone either way for both sides, topsy-turvy. There we go. So what's the state of things? State of things are as such. French looking pretty good, I think. You know, to be honest with you, we do have 1 casualty. Spanish have none yet, but it's coming. 1 strength unit here. That's going to be happening soon enough. Although we do only have 1 strength unit here for the French. Half strength unit here. Okay, there. I mean, to be honest with you, the Spanish aren't in a horrible position, but they could be better. And right in here is a little concerning. We've got a broken unit, shaking unit, shaking unit, shaking unit, and it's not the end of the world, but it's wasting an action to rally from being shaken or broken. It's wasting time. And we've got a healthy smattering of French that can just push forward here. Let's see. Do have 3 defensive hexes for the Spanish to retreat into. These are town hexes. From here back is just eye candy. It doesn't have any effect or bearing on the game. So there's that. I think that's about it. Don't know if I'll come back tonight and visit or continue this tomorrow. We'll just have to wait and see. But all right, that's it. Thanks for watching. Talk to you next time.